Hello everyone, my name is Sark and welcome back to another action figure review. In today's video, we're going to be taking a look at the WikeeToys Atomic Heart Twin, or whatever they're calling it. I forgot. What is the name that they're calling them? I forgot. I'm not even going to check it right now. But, yeah, we're taking a look at the Atomic Heart Twin. Now, granted, there is two, but unfortunately, I was not able to get the second one. But, yeah. Who am I kidding? I actually did get two. Why would I get one if they're supposed to be twins? That's the whole point in the game. But yeah, like, I think it was the video game called Atomic Heart? I don't remember now. I, actually don't remember. Wait, let me do a little bit of research before I start the review. Can you stand? Thank you. Alright, so it is Atomic Heart, and I do remember seeing people play it, like especially when it actually came out. It seemed like a fine game, not necessarily something I was interested in, but I think the twins caught the world by a storm because of just how good they looked. Now, granted, one of them is missing one of the crucial aspects to kind of differentiate the two, so let's just get that right on her. That's much better. So realistically, this looks phenomenal. Like, again, both of them look really good. They're supposed to be twins and everything. I will say these are probably some of the coolest action figures, or actually not coolest, some of the best articulated action figures that I have. And I'm surprised, mostly because, actually, not necessarily surprised, but at the same time, this is just a third-party company that I had no idea about, and then whenever they made these actual figures, I was like, oh, that's cool. I got these through AliExpress. That's pretty much the only place that you can actually get them. I think they came out almost 2 years ago to the date. So, yeah. Now, granted, aesthetically speaking, these, again, look phenomenal. They're so metallic and shiny. The hair looks really good. This apparently can light up. Now, one of the biggest issues with these figures is the hair. If you pull off the hair to actually take the actual batteries in and then out and everything like that, then it's going to be an issue, because this will most likely never come back. You can actually see I put some sticky tack on there, so none of it falls off. But like, now it doesn't fall off, but the sticky tack was not in there, which I can actually probably show you, maybe. Well, it's already in there, so I'm not going to try to get it out now. But just believe me when I tell you that it kept falling and falling and falling and falling, and I was going crazy, realistically. But yeah, the Atomic Heart Twins definitely have some nice features to them, to say the least, that caught a lot of people by surprise, especially when they came out. Especially all the cosplayers. I saw like hundreds, if not thousands of cosplays based on the Atomic Heart Twins, which is not something that I will complain about. But realistically, these look phenomenal. The metallic finish on the actual metal parts, and then also the shininess on the actual outfit, which is really nice. And I will say that the jacket here is not necessarily the greatest. It is pure gold, like gold fabric. I'm not the biggest fan of it, to say the least. It is very stretchy, which is really nice, but it is more brown than gold in the actual game, from what I've seen, especially from what I can recall as well. But it still looks good, and then from afar, I think it will look even better. I just think up close, it's just the amount of detail that they're trying to get into a 1/12 scale figure is not necessarily terrible, really. So, again, aesthetically, they look really nice. Now, in terms of height, these actually are not that big, realistically. Well, they are, but also they're not. Here's how they compare to the Games Begin Goku, and then just because I actually have them here, here's how they compare to Ultimate Gohan. So realistically, they are super tall, but they are meant to be tall in the game. They are taller than the average human on there, which is not the biggest, or not a big deal in my opinion. They just look the part, and I think if you have like just regular 1/12 scale figures, they will go perfectly with them. Again, just like size comparison, this is how they're supposed to look. And I think I know they're like antagonists in the game from time to time. So yeah. Now, articulation wise, I'm going to show this one because it is the one without the actual jacket, and I'll show what the jacket kind of restrains a little bit. here and there. So articulation wise, they do seem to have a double ball peg, especially for the head, which allows her to look down about that far and then look up this far, which is really good actually. I'm actually going to take this one out of the equation because the camera is just going to focus on her. So looking down about that far and then looking up this far, which is really nice. I don't think that they have like a double ball peg on the actual head. She can look side to side, but I think that's because they have a swivel. There probably is some lighting things or cables inside of the actual head, because I don't think I can actually pop this off. Maybe I can. No. Usually that's what's going to happen. I will say, the chest is some form of soft plastic, which is really nice. I think that is awesome, because it does allow her to pivot her head as well. So you can see that it comes off super easily. Even the sticky tack is kind of failing me, but I'll probably just end up putting sticky tack in the front as well, like this part right here. But yeah, for the arms, she can go above, or they can go above a T-pose, which is really cool. Rotating 360 degrees for both of the arms, as you can see. A little bit tightness for the bicep swivel, but it still works. She does have a butterfly joint that I'll take a look at in a minute. Double jointed elbow that doesn't look bad and works really well. And then a wrist hinge as always. Now this one is more so like a not a round peg. It's not a ball peg. It's just a regular peg that has kind of like the indent to actually seal it shut. It's not like Mafex, but it's somewhat similar to it, which is really nice. It's more so like the Marvel Legends figures, but if it was reversed, where the peg is actually not on the hand, but instead it's on the actual forearm here. Butterfly joints, she can actually get some pretty good movement with the butterfly joints, almost crossing her arms, which is really nice. For the diaphragm, she can move forward about this far without the need of the abdomen, and then backwards this far, which will leave you a gap. So it's pretty good. And yes, she is a little bit squishy. Not too much, but just a little bit. She could pivot side to side, not too much with the diaphragm. But with the abdomen and diaphragm combination, she does go forward pretty well. And then backwards really good as well. Pivoting side to side, also good motion. And then for the legs, we do have the perfect splits with the butt showing on the back, and it is a sculpted butt that is on soft plastic, which is really good. So, oh, she also has drop down hips, but I'll get into that in a minute. Kicking forward, she goes about this far without the drop down. You could probably get her further, but with that, you're actually going to pivot onto the drop down. So she does get pretty good range, which is really, really nice. Going backwards with the drop down about that far because of the soft plastic. Without the drop down, it's almost about the same, realistically. So yeah. Thigh swivel, she technically has one, but not too much. This is kind of like the Mafex thigh swivel, where they don't necessarily have a cut for the thigh, and it's more so on inside of the actual joint over here. So it does move somewhat well, but not too much. Double jointed knee, that actually looks pretty good. Slight gap there, but not the biggest deal. And then for the foot joint, it goes forward this far and then backwards this far. And then of course it does have a toe joint that does look pretty nice actually. So yeah, articulation wise, they do have some really nice articulation. And granted, while the other one, or technically both of them, can have the jacket doesn't restrain the movement too much, aside from like the 360 degree rotation for the arm right here, which is not the biggest deal. And she still has the thigh swivel and then the double jointed elbow and everything. It's just going to be covered up by the jacket. So yeah, pretty good range of articulation there for the two. Now let's take a look at the accessories. I'm only going to be grabbing the accessories for one of them because they both come with the exact same. So let's take a look at those real quick. Alright, as for the accessories, this is what one comes with. So if you do end up getting two of them, then this is what you should expect. They do not have any additional faceplates because they don't have any additional facial expressions, at least from what I can recall. I don't think they have that. But they do have an additional chest plate that's actually supposed to be the regular size for the chest. I just realized that these, the ones that I have in front of me, are much bigger than I actually, or that I initially anticipated. But yeah, it is a nice looking chest plate, as I already kind of mentioned. It does kind of have like that chainmail look on the back and everything like that. She does come or they both come with 3 separate pairs of hands. One with kind of like the clawing hands and everything. One with like these nice little effects. I think they do something with it in the actual game. I can definitely recall what it is. Well, I can't recall what it is exactly, but I can definitely remember them using this type of hand motion for a lot of specifics. And then, of course, 2 different holding hands. Now, these holding hands, I don't necessarily know if it's for the actual weapons, because there is a laser right here, and I don't understand if it's, or there's 2 different lasers, one that's kind of like neutral, and then one that's like super powered up. I don't necessarily recall where they would go, because they also have like this little piece. I don't know if it's exactly for like the hand or anything. I don't remember if this is a sword of sorts, because I don't know. It's been a while since the game came out, and I don't know. It looks nice. Like the detail on it is actually really nice. I don't know if it's a little bit warped or if it's that's just how it's supposed to come. And then this extra additional piece. I don't know a lot of Atomic Heart. I know the game was kind of just like a one and done thing. So yeah, I think there is a game coming out afterwards to kind of coincide with the same. I don't remember. But they do have an additional hand that actually holds a key, or is supposed to hold a key. That this you put on here, and then it should kind of like hold it together. Like this key that you get, you should be able to just kind of hold it together like that, or like so. There we go. There we go. Beautiful. It actually looks really nice. I like it. And again, 2 additional pieces right there. I don't know what it is, and I'm pretty sure this is supposed to be the magnet to activate the light. But I'm pretty sure because of how like old these batteries are probably are, then they're probably out of juice, which I would not be surprised. And I will say there's like no instructions for these at all whatsoever, so I'm probably gonna have to figure out where to put these effects. Oh wait, there is effects on the back. Is that no? They don't fit on the bottom of the feet. Am I supposed to take off the star? Oh my god, the star comes off. Wait, I figured it out. The star does come off. Okay, so it is for the forehead. That makes a lot of sense now. Okay, I figured it out. Okay, that makes a lot of sense. I get it now. So, yeah. I'm going to go right into my final thoughts here. I really like both of these. Or just the figure in general. I actually do think that they come with a lot. And for the price point, it's not too bad. You can right now find them for like about $66 to $70, which is not terrible. I think for that price, getting 2 of them, you're going to be paying around like $130, depending on where you're getting them, of course. If I can still find the link to the store that I actually got them from, I'll put it down in the description below for you guys to purchase them and whatnot. But as a final score, I'm actually going to give these figures a 9 out of 10. Again, the only issue that I have with them is that the head caps, or the hair pieces, or the hair caps, kind of just fall off pretty easily, and they're very loose. Aside from that, I don't have many issues with the figure itself, and they're pretty good. So yeah, that's pretty much all the time I have for you guys today. Let me know what you guys think about these figures. Do you like them? Do you not like them? Are you going to get them for yourself now that you've watched this video? Because if you do, check the link down in the description or in the pinned comment section. But besides that, like and subscribe and all that sort of jazz. And I'll see you all in the next one. Bye-bye.